Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. A lot of us are waiting for patch 8.3 and all the different content and different updates that it has to offer. So far from everybody that checked out PTR or been looking at patch 8.3 updates, it looks like a really good and an interesting patch to get into. It looks super exciting and a lot of people are going to be coming back. But it's going to be a little bit of time before patch 8.3 actually drops in our laps. So what is there to do before patch 8.3? Is there something important that you might need to do in the game right now in order to have an easier time in patch 8.3? In this video, I'll attempt to go over all the main important things just to make sure you guys have a list of everything you probably should do in order to have a good experience come patch 8.3 in terms of the content as well as character progression. First thing on the list is going to be to, first of all, choose your main. There's a lot of classes in the game and all of them have been designed in various different ways and altered through the patch 8.2 Essence system. A lot of classes and specs are going to be strong when it comes to patch 8.3, and with the change to the environment of the dungeons as well as the raid, there are going to be some changes. Certain classes that were overpowered in one season of PvE are going to be very powerful in the next upcoming season 4, whether you want to get into Mythic Pluses, raids, or any other content. It's a good idea right now, if you are playing BFA, is to choose which main you want to play. With the new raid and Mythic Plus season comes a basically gear reset. It's like a soft reset for all your characters. So even if you were geared to the teeth in the last patch, in this patch your gear is equivalent to, at most, Neolotha normal. That means everybody's gonna have to re-gear their characters, restat yourself properly, get yourself the best in slot pieces all over again. Meaning that if you decide to change your main character, maybe from a melee to a range, maybe from a DPS to a healer or a tank, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So if you are playing BFA right now, try to figure out which main you are going to be playing, which ults you want to play, and that will give you a couple different characters to start working on right now in order to prepare for patch 8.3. Second thing you should work on is getting your essences. Essences are staying in patch 8.3, and all the essences that you had the possibility to earn in patch 8.2 are going to stay in patch 8.3. Blizzard is making some of the essences from patch 8.2 easier to acquire. Whether you need less reputation for them, less materials, or less grinding, like Blood of the Enemy and the Honor kills. If you have a character in mind right now, a character you want to play for the next raid tier, right now would be the best time to start gathering some of your essences. Right now would be the best time before 8.3 hits to start farming some of the reputations needed for the essences best for your character. Essences play a huge role in terms of the viability of your character. In some cases, essences is the biggest gap between doing good damage and underperforming inside of PvE content. So working on essences like Blood of the Enemy, maybe the Rock Boy from Eternal Palace as a starter single target essence, the Crucible, which is a baseline essence, really good for single target. There's a couple different essences and passive essences that you can start working on right now before 8.3. I would refer to the website Icy Veins. It is a decent source for you guys to get some of the better essences for your spec, and then from there it's a good idea to do more research in your class online to see what essences are going to be the best for you. Of course, guides online for patch 8.3 are also going to be very helpful. The next thing you should try to accomplish is try to finish up the allied race reputations needed for the Vulpera and Mechagnomes. 8.3 is going to be introducing the Vulpera and Mechagnomes as well as other allied races available for certain classes, but also for Death Knights. Vulpera and Mechagnomes are going to be new for this patch, but also they're going to be, if you pre-order Shadowlands, unlocking other allied races for Death Knights. This is going to be a perfect opportunity for you guys to get new characters up and running and a bunch more heritage armor to farm up. The reputations you're going to want to get for the brand new allied races with this patch are going to be the Voldenai for the Horde, and for Alliance, the Rustbolt Resistance in Mechagon. If you guys want some tips for how to farm the reputation, there is really one way, which is either doing dailies but also completing emissaries. It's not something you'll be able to get done in a single sitting. It is something you should do over like a week's worth of period, but with all the different bonuses we have right now in the game for extra reputation gains, this is the perfect time to do it. So go out there and start farming up some reputations if you want to play Vulpera or Mechagnome. Next, we have ourselves the neck level. Now the neck, Heart of Azeroth, is going to stay important in patch 8.3. It isn't going to be nearly as grindy as a lot of us were expecting, but you are going to need to farm up some neck levels in the next patch in order to stay relevant if you're doing some challenging content. So if you're somebody who does want to tackle challenging content, the next level cap is going to be level 80 in patch 8.3. But before patch 8.3 drops, it's a good idea to get to at least level 70 right now, which is the current cap for your neck. By being at the current cap, it will allow you to at least have a head start with everybody else if you are trying to get competitive in World of Warcraft. The higher your neck level is, the more stats you'll get for that necklace. You'll also unlock an extra slot for another passive essence to apply for your character, extra stamina through different bonuses, as well as unlocking the traits in all the different Azeroth gear at higher item level that you'll be able to earn in 8.3. Best way to farm up some AP would be through two ways. One of them would be through islands, which is the best way for you to start hating the game because islands is just a repetitive thing. Not a lot of people enjoy it, but it is the fastest way to grind out a bunch of AP in a short sitting. Or you can do emissaries every day, as those reward you a fair amount of AP, which will be a slower way to gain your AP, but you will hate the game a lot less. Either way works out, but the neck level is still going to be important for patch 8.3. If you are going into 8.3 as a main character and you already have all the reputations unlocked to Exalted, there's a quick bonus thing you can start doing right now. Once you unlock a reputation to Exalted, you can complete the reputation again and earn a Paragon box from that reputations vendor, which gives you goodies, AP, as well as other resources. If you are able to start working on those Paragon boxes right now and save them up and open them once patch 8.3 arrives, that'll be the best time for you to get a boatload of AP in order to help your neck level get quite a bit of a boost on day one. If you're someone who is going to be using professions in order to help you tackle on some hard content for patch 8.3, then you might want to start stocking up on Expulsum. Expulsum is that reagent that you can get from scrapping gear, but also sometimes you'll be able to get it through certain world quests. But it is going to be very important and necessary for this upcoming patch. If you are going to be playing on a character and you are going to be using professions for that character, whether you are creating consumables for your guild, or maybe you're simply an engineer who's trying to make your engineering goggles as soon as possible, just to get that competitive item level edge over your competitors, right now stocking up on Expulsum just so you have it so you can use it once 8.3 arrives would be the best time to do it right now. So if you are out in the open world and you get a bunch of greens and a bunch of blues that you're not going to be using for your character, it's a good idea to just throw them in the scrapper for the Alliance and Horde and get all the different materials. You'll get base materials, which I'm sure will be useful in crafting these new pieces of loot, but also you'll get the much needed Expulsum, which is going to be necessary in order to craft some of the more powerful crafting gear. However, if you are done with all of these things, you have your neck level maxed out, you already know what class you're going to be playing, you have the best essences, and you're simply waiting for patch 8.3 to arrive, I think right now would be a great time to play another game. For me, my choice, and it's very casual, is just to play some classic World of Warcraft, because you can just go and grind a bunch of mobs, and the gameplay loop is fairly simplistic, but fairly enjoyable. I'm somebody who doesn't really get burnt out of World of Warcraft super easily, so I can keep playing either WoW Retail or Classic and still have joy in the game. However, if you're someone who just wants to spend a lot of time just invested into something while patiently waiting for patch 8.3, Classic would be a great way to do it. However, if you are afraid you're going to be burnt out from World of Warcraft and the gameplay loop of looting things and grinding things and collecting things and gearing and leveling, and you don't want to deal with it until 8.3, another game would probably be a better choice. Nobody really knows right now when patch 8.3 is going to arrive, and as soon as we know, I'll make a video on it. My best guess is going to be January 7th. It's going to be right after the holidays, after the December time, and it's going to be the first Tuesday available after the month of December. So January 7th, I think, is going to be the best choice, at least in my opinion, but Blizzard could go back and maybe release it a little bit earlier, but I highly doubt it. However, it could be released a little bit later than 7th, which I feel like would be a little bit sad, but right now we don't have a date, but I only have the best guess. Until then, find something else to do. And this is about everything you need to know when it comes to patch 8.3 and preparation for patch 8.3. The essences are not going anywhere, and while Blizzard is making some of the ways to earn them a little bit easier, you still will need to do some of the older content if you are going to be starting patch 8.3. Then of course there's your neck levels and other things that you can work on right now in order to be ready and set for patch 8.3. Of course, I'm sure Blizzard will add some other catch-up mechanisms into patch 8.3 that we are not even aware of right now, and they're probably trying to evaluate how they're going to be doing some of those catch-ups for 8.3. So there'll probably be more information coming out in the future, but this is everything that I can think of right now that you could be working on in preparation for the next patch of Nail the Raid. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see all of you in another video.